Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.
I'm also, I'm getting lots of, because there's a lot of people that I know that live in Los Angeles. Some people have lost their homes, like the great Gina Yashere, who I actually got to interview and got to talk with off mic. I was planning to go to London this year. Actually, I was going to do something in London, and I was like, will you host me? And she was like, of course. Now she's going through she lost her entire everything in her home. And she's optimistic though. And I loved the message that she left on Instagram, which we're going to play later. Niecy Nash has said some things, a lot of celebrities, but a lot of regular ass people have no place to go today. And not only no place to go, but lost memories, because the thing about your home, Roderick, is that this is the place that you put down roots. Most of us, you got your baby albums, your parents, pictures of, cards and letters. Like I'm someone that loves to save cards and letters that you cannot ever replace. And those go up in smoke. It's not the things. It's not the things. It's not your house. It's not the cars. It's the things that you cannot replace that I think are hurting so many people. And it also, to me, I think there's an opportunity to start thinking about where we live, how we live. We've been knowing that California is problematic, earthquakes and mudslides and fires and heat. It's been that way. But now there's something else, because there's not rumors, but people have seen people set fires. This may not have been an act of God, right? And if you couple that with where we are right now in this country, which in this world, because I don't think it's the disease of inhumanity only impacts the United States of America. I think it is a global disease, and it may have been a global disease for hundreds of years. I mean, we've been dealing with this maybe for thousands of years, and maybe it's time for people to stand up and say no more, because this inhumanity is killing us.
Yeah. And I don't the social media is so unreliable for news and information at this point that I kind of have to wait until some actual news outlets that have like sources and can send somebody out to talk to witnesses and stuff. And it sucks because, you want to have like an immediate reaction, but I'm trying to discipline myself to be like, let me wait. But I've seen multiple instances of people being like, someone got caught with gasoline and stuff to burn things down. And it's
correct.
Yeah. So like,
coupled with knowing where the wind is blowing. So
right.
I actually heard this day one from people who live there, who were reliable sources, but I would never bring that to the airwaves until I heard somebody voice it. So Niecy Nash actually voiced it. I trust her.
Yeah. And I've seen people I know personally, like one of them said her brother was involved in, and it's someone I know personally enough that I trust him, not like, I just know their Twitter. And it's like her brother was in the neighborhood and they caught an arsonist. And then later on the news, like the Twitter for like their local news was like an arsonist caught by some people in the neighborhood. And I'm like, okay, so what is happening? Because we already know about just this, the amount of environmental catastrophe that happens in the area of California anyway. Like what's funny, not funny, but ironic funny is hearing people say like, well, it's not the season for this. Like it's like, meaning we have accepted that there is a season where where LA could burn to the ground, but it's just not supposed to be till June or whatever. So it's very dystopian what we're living through right now.
I mean, Joe Rogan had on his show, which I hate saying his name, but he talked about a firefighter last year who said it's just a matter of time before this happens. It's the right conditions, the wind, and all of LA is going to burn. So everybody using this opportunity to call Karen Bass of DEI hire, she was elected, to talk about the fire department being a DEI fire department because they wanted to have diversity and people from the community on the fire department. So they were leaning in on making sure that the fire department was diverse, which it wasn't. Police, fire, these very stable, well, I want to say salaried and pension jobs have been for hundreds of years in this country, set aside for just a certain group of people. And it's always been legacy. Construction has been legacy. I worked at the Daily News. The drivers and pressmen, legacy. It was money because it was good. It was a good paying job that had pensions and all manners of perks, right? And black folk have been left out of these jobs for hundreds of years. So if an agency says, I want to see more equity in this space that is servicing an equitable, a diverse group of people, that's not DEI. And but the trick bag of this DEI argument is going to come back to bite you, because you're going to need some of these very, very capable people to save your life at some point, who happen to be black. Whether we're talking about doctors, whether we're talking about EMS workers, whatever. When you are taking your dying breath, you're going to want one of these quote unquote DEI hires who is capable and qualified to be there for you, but you won't believe it. People are going to die because of their stupidity. You look at, if I get on an airplane, they're black pilots, those DEI pilots, motherfuckers, really? Really?
I think
it's not going to end well, Rod.
Yeah, I think one of the things I've come to reckon with over the last year, especially in the wake of like the Trump election and all this stuff, is the conservative people, right-wing people, whatever, they really understand the power of a narrative, like having a story. It don't have to be true, but they just need a story for everything. And it doesn't really have to it doesn't have to necessarily make sense, right? So like this thing where a fire breaks out because partially fueled by things that they deny, such as climate change, right? They deny that this is even real. It's all just fake. Okay, the earth's heating up. We're constantly having more of these catastrophes. I'm in North Carolina smelling smoke from Canada, but I'm supposed to just throw that away because you know what the real problem is? Black mayor. Like it don't have to be true. That she cut the budget for the fire department. That's not true. That's actually factually false. The budget was raised. It doesn't matter. Their willingness to believe that lie because it's a story that makes them feel like they're in control is so powerful. And I really did not respect that power before, because I've always grown up respecting truth and facts. Like my household was like, if you can't prove this, I don't care what story you tell yourself, this is what happened. And that's the most powerful thing in the world, is what actually happened. And living in that is how you get your real power, is dealing with reality. But these people just tuck their heads in the sand, and they can see a catastrophe like that boat that broke that bridge and be like, oh, black mayor. Okay, so nothing to investigate.
Black governor, black mayor.
Yeah,
DEI.
nothing to investigate.
DEI.
We don't need to. Yes. We don't need to look and see like what's so powerful about that is they don't even need to look to make the connection of what the mayor and the governor did. They just see black and they're done for the day. Wash their hands of it. Post that tweet, and their dummy followers believe it, and that's so dangerous, because this is half of our country, and we're a country that needs to make changes that involve a democracy where we need over half the people to be like, hey guys, what if we did something about this climate change? And it's like, nah, if you didn't have a black mayor, we wouldn't even need this. It's insane.
Right. Well, this is what I'm saying, is going to come back to haunt them, because I've seen so many doctors, they walk into the room and people don't want to be served by them. That person might say, okay, I'm saying, Roderick, it's time to take our goodness, our heavily educated, having to do twice the work, for half the pay, having to prove ourselves constantly, which means we're going to have to show up doubly qualified. We can't just be general. We got to be general corporate. We got to have it all. You don't get to that position, those high ranking positions, as a black person, unless you've done all of the things. We're going to talk about the sugar ball, one of these bowls, and the first black, they called him a black Asian. First black Asian. I was like, oh, y'all now know how black and Asian can come together to make a person. No, it's okay. This is going to be interesting. Or why we got to talk about him being black and Asian? Because it's the first time. Because your racism has allowed there to never be somebody, because you would say that was a DEI hire. Right? Exactly. A black person can't quarterback because they don't have the capacity. But somehow the black quarterbacks are killing it.
Yes.
Killing it.
Yes.
Okay. This
if they lose,
can't
and if
hold
they
up.
lose, and if they lose, he gonna go back to being black and the
Correct.
DEI the second that
Correct.
happens anyway. But yeah, you're totally right. I think the interesting part when we think about like some sort of like either mass exodus or just like, hey, look, we just sticking for ourselves, forget these people. Like California is a Democratic stronghold. It's losing ground, but it's still extremely important to America that California stay blue. And I think stuff like this, which a lot of this is coming from outside of that state, by the way. Like a lot of these
even
people
the fire. Maybe even the fire.
right.
But go ahead.
Maybe even the fire. So but I feel like those forces are trying to make people feel like abandon ship, get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. So because they want California. I think they see a path of it. I think it's possible in our lifetime.
It is.
California goes red. People forget Arnold Schwarzenegger was a Republican and won California. Like
so was Ronald Reagan. I mean,
exactly.
it's not out of the realm, but beyond politics, because I think there's something greater going on. Politics is an entree into a greater ill that we're suffering from. But as I'm thinking about, what you were saying, that there's an opportunity also. I was looking at I love him, Milo Ventimiglia. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, he is from This Is Us, who actually, his character for all of those seasons died in a fire, lost everything, but he's out there rolling up his sleeves helping people. I think this is one time when we can cross financial, racial, all barriers. Everyone who's lost a house has lost a house, and they all have nothing, and they don't have insurance, a lot of them, right? And they're going to have to rebuild, whether it's $1 million house or $100,000 house. Not that there are any of those in California, but you know what I'm saying, that the cost to rebuild is going to be proportionately the same. And how you handle a tragedy that didn't have any discriminatory, with no lamb's blood on one house to pass over the next one. Everyone got decimated, no matter what. The unhoused and the people who are now unhoused are all unhoused. There's an opportunity for us to see the commonality in our humanity and step up and step forward to be more unified in this moment. This is the time to not politicize and not to cast aspersions and blame, but to say, what can we do? And I also think, Roderick, this is a time my grandparents left the South in the Great Migration. My mama left in another kind of migration from Augusta, Georgia. But my father's parents left South Carolina and moved to Newark. His grandparents moved to Newark. And there was a great migration in this country among Black people because of the horrors and terrors that were plaguing us in the South. There's now a climate change reality, whether you're living in Florida, Texas, the hills of North Carolina. Nobody's going to, no longer is there a place where you can be like, well, I'm just going to wait this out. We played a clip from a brother yesterday in California who said, I've been living here for 30 years. We expect there to be earthquakes and these things. I've never expected this. This was not on my, list of things that could happen. But we now know that there are places that we should be a little bit more mindful, like when we go to buy a house. Don't just buy a house because it's popular or you think your house is going to appreciate, because even if you pay that house off and it's gone now, there's no value on it. Like you can't go to the bank and get a home equity line of credit on a house that's not there. It's time to rethink. We need to move in places that are not so expensive. And you know where those places are? I'm going to say less about that. But in mass, if we, folk gentrify for a reason. Time for us to gentrify, whatever the hell that means, what it looks like us moving with intention into places where we can build value around community as opposed to value around a house.
Right. Nah, I definitely feel all that. I mean, like I said, it's a tragedy right now. So I know people are probably focused on like day-to-day life stuff that are going through it. But yeah, there'll be an opportunity coming out of this to see where people land, see where people want to go, to be intentional about who you line up with. The thing about not politicizing it is interesting because I feel like everything's already politicized now. Like the fact that they went DEI and cut the budget before people could even sift through the ashes of their houses, it's like we don't even have a chance. You know what I mean? Like good people are just doing good work. They not on Twitter trying to stoke fires. But there's so many people that are invested in that.
I did something today that I normally don't do. I normally don't go back and well, that's a lie. I do go back and forth with people, but I'm built for that. So I feel like I'm not gonna make any excuses for why I am the way I am.
Okay.
Somebody came on with this false narrative, and I proceeded to, call him everything from, because first of all, you got the fake avatar, you got the fake name, and I said, please take your doodle stain drawers and your knuckle dragging ass, goofy, like I hit him with everything, and he was like, oh, you're so fragile. Like he didn't even have a comeback because he's not. You ain't built for this.
Right.
Oh, you're fragile. I said, no, fragility is being a coward, sitting in your doodle stained drawers, clackety clacking misinformation and hatred. That's fragility. This is strength.
Yep.
And he didn't have a comeback. And I said, Roderick, they not used to getting the smoke. They're not used to getting real smoke.
Yeah.
Because I'm serious. I'm not even playing with you. And the way I feel about that is like for too long we have been raised to just sticks and stones may break. No, sticks and stones, words will hurt too. All of them are on the table. All of it. Sticks, stones, words, all of it. Let's not let it. And if we do it collectively, when we see people with misinformation in particular and hatred and all, and we just form like Voltrons, like, nah, not here. Nah, buddy. Yeah. No, you coward. Show your face. Show you that big. Show your face. Put your name up there. Let's go.
Yeah, I definitely have that.
I hate it.
I had that fighter energy in me as well of clapping back on people. I try to keep it in control lately. But it's
let's not
for them.
Unleash
it's for me.
Unleash it.
It's not for the record. It ain't for them. It's for me. Like I don't like it. Like certain people get the smoke, but you got to meet some qualifiers. Like it's like it's like this. You don't see boxers fighting people in the street. You know what I mean? You gotta find a way to get in this ring with me. So like if it's somebody that's a nobody, I'm not fighting.
Okay, let me offer you this. You're Mike Tyson in his prime.
Right.
And there's bullies out there being stupid. And you in them streets. If every bully got a Mike Tyson, 19-year-old Mike Tyson punch in the mouth, I'm not advocating for this. I'm not saying people should have done this. I'm saying hypothetically, if everybody who was spouting off misinformation, lies, and hatred got punched in the mouth by Mike Tyson at 19 in them streets, would it change the way people moved about the cabin?
It might.
Roderick?
It might, but I feel like it takes a toll on Mike Tyson as well. Like Mike Tyson got to live with them scars too.
No, he only got to do it one time. And then
I thought
next
you said
person,
everybody.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The edict is next person says something, gets this smoke.
Right.
I'm Mike Tyson.
So hold on. We're a lot closer than
you everybody.
Think.
What?
We're a lot closer than you think then. Because what I'm saying is somebody got to qualify to get this ass whipping, right? The reason we don't have people stepping to Mike Tyson in public is because he done doled out a bunch of qualified ass whippers over the years.
Correct.
So he don't
Correct.
So like you smoke that one person, but you don't have to smoke every person on Twitter.
Correct.
Is what I'm saying. Right. So we're closer than you think.
But they need to know you're Mike Tyson. So
I will smoke. I will smoke somebody. Okay, that's not the problem. All right. I'm telling you, for me, I got to pick my smoke. So I'll be like, you make the best example.
All right, I'm smoking everybody.
You want to smoke them all?
Out there? Anybody talking greasy, putting out misinformation, disinformation. You are racist. You getting the smoke.
I feel.
If I have a lunch break, I'm gonna take an hour a day.
See, that's fair though, because to me that's the thing, right? When I'm talking about the limits, it's for me. It ain't for them. Like when you say an hour a day, that give you 23 hours for you.
Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.